Hey guys, welcome back. Uh, Today we're going to be working on this 1964 Vietnam issued Benrus. Um, Here in this video, I've got another camera, so I have several new angles uh, to play with. So hopefully the video's easier to watch now. So on the back of this, you can see, we got the contract number, very low serial number, and the manufacturing date, February of 1964. This little line here indicates the direction of the split stem. It allows you to take the movement out. Pretty cool. This still has that. A lot of these watches are missing. Um, so this watch is very original and in very good condition. It honestly doesn't really need to be serviced. At least I didn't think so before I worked on it. It ran good. I wore it, but I was slightly concerned about the hour hand. It was very close to the dial, and I really did not want it rubbing on the dial. It's sitting flat. Like you couldn't put a piece of paper between the dial and the hour hand currently. So check out this dial. Man, this thing is awesome. Perfect condition. I'm gonna just put this stem in here so I can rotate these hands so I can get them aligned up and take them off. This watch stresses me out. I was so nervous taking the hands off of this thing. No matter how many times I did it, I was like, or have done it in the past, I'm like, I'm gonna break it. I I really did not. This thing is in so like it. Maybe the video doesn't do it justice. How good this dial looks and these hands. But we got it done without any damage. We'll go through later on and inspect the dial closer and clean it up with some just water. So here I'm gonna go ahead and just get these hands out of the way. I noticed something while I was working on this here. This dial is loose. The dial feet screw is not tightened. It's not holding the dial. Somebody's been in this watch before. Well, go ahead and get these dial screws out of there. Okay, so the feet are there. That's good. Just the screw wasn't tightened down all the way, holding the dial in place. You can see some of the markings on the dial there. That's just maybe a fingerprint. I clean that off later. So go ahead and start disassembling this. And here I make a mistake. Not detrimental. However, that cannon pinion did not need to come off of there yet. It is friction fit to that wheel below. Didn't realize that until after I went to put it back together, and it was like, what is the deal? But yeah, that cannon pinion will come out once you take this bridge here off. You take this bridge here off, and then you can remove that, which they call the setting wheel on this movement. You can remove that setting wheel, and then the cannon pinion will come out with that wheel below it. It's friction fit. Later, I'll show you how to pop that back on. Go ahead and get the setting lever spring out. And while I'm doing that, I want to just maybe tell you about the story of this watch. So, I bought this watch from the original owner. This is, well, original owner. The guy I bought it from, I don't know if he was a relative or whatever, but the original owner unfortunately left this watch to this guy, and he sold it. Going through some of his things, he found this and some other things, but this watch came from a pilot, during the Vietnam War. That guy was the original owner. From what I was told, it was issued to him and he wore it during his entire service. The guy flew a C-130 plane, which I believe was a transport plane, from 1964 all the way through 1971. So, like I said, this previous owner had the watch for just over 60 years. Hopefully, with any luck, I'll have this watch for 60 years. This thing has a really cool story. Two of the missions that I was told about that this guy flew on during his tour while wearing this watch, one of which he took heavy enemy fire. He lost all radio communications and had to do an emergency landing. Does that justify me saying that he was shot down? I don't know. Now, the second was very similar to that. I was told that done during another mission, he took very heavy enemy fire, a lot of damage to the plane, and he got everybody on the plane with him out in safe, got out safely. So this guy was decorated. He had won several medals for these missions here that I'm telling you about while wearing this watch. And today we're gonna look at it and work on it. And man, I tell you what, this thing is in perfect condition. I could not believe how good it was on the inside. Somebody has definitely taken care of this over the years, or it's just set in a desk after he got out of the military. He probably just put it in a drawer. But I got some of the original bands, and I would keep the original band on this, but it does not fit me. The band is too small. Somebody's cut it. But I will hold on to that band. The band will stay with this watch. But yeah, somebody took care of this watch, I think. It looks like it had been serviced. The oils inside of it really weren't that bad. It was running pretty good. It kept time. Like I said, the only reason I am even taking it apart, for one, is because service history was unknown, and I wanted to inspect it. And I knew it was running good, but I really didn't want to risk anything wearing out due to lack of oil. And another, I didn't want the dial getting damaged from the hour hand being so close. Now, it's a good thing I did, because like I said, the dial was loose, and it absolutely would have damaged. If I would have been wearing it around enough, that hour hand would have rubbed onto the dial and took some of the paint off of it. And with how perfect this dial is, oh my, I would have been very upset about that. So, you'll see me as we're tearing this thing down, doing some inspection, showing you some new camera angles. I was kind of playing with angles in this. I found one towards the end of the video that I think I'll use. Even this angle right here, you still can't really see what I'm doing all that well. But I had switched the angle again towards the end of the video, like I said, so you can see up close better what I'm doing. So what do you guys think about that story? I think it's very cool. A little bit of history with this watch, even if it's not totally true. That's what I was told, and that's what I'm going to go with. But this is, for sure, a military-issued Benrus from the Vietnam War. And that story goes along with that. I made some posts about it, trying to get some more information. And, here, I got to show you that. I have to take this bridge off to get the barrel out without causing any damage. Kind of abnormal. But anyway, I questioned some guys on some forums about this, and I was told that serial number's extremely low. I mean, it's like 0103, but like the lowest most have seen Um, Pretty cool, really. Honestly, that low serial number made me question the authenticity of this. But after taking it apart, there's no question it's real. Here we are taking the train of wheels out, and this that was kind of stuck. So yeah, this thing definitely was due for a service. That did not want to come out. Here you can see me inspecting it. So we're just checking out these wheels. Definitely some different stuff in here that I'm not used to seeing. Like I said, I like to check to make sure none of these teeth are worn. The pivots look okay. There's no distortion. Make sure like the wheels are flat. Now we can get this barrel out of here. Also didn't want to come out. It felt stuck. Like it was sticking to the plate through the arbor on the backside of the pivot. So definitely it's a good thing I'm servicing this. Yeah, you can go back to the old video style where you can't see the screwdrivers. You can only see my fingers when I'm doing the screwdriving. Or we could do this video where you can see my ugly face. um, yeah, so go ahead and get this pallet. Oh, shoot that across the room. I had a lot of issue in this watch dropping and flinging parts, and the last couple of watches I had a lot of issue dropping and flinging parts. And I did some research on dressing my tweezers, and they got this thing that's called duck billing. At least that's what I think it was called, where the tweezers don't come to it, they don't meet great. And I believe that might have been a lot of my issue, because I dressed them later on in this video, and it's like crazy. It's immediately noticeable how better it is after I dress them. So that piece there I was messing with, I wasn't sure what that was. It took me a little bit to figure out, thinking that's the hack. That's what stops the balance. I'm like, what is that thing? I'm like trying to decide if I need to take it out, if it even does anything. I'm like, clearly it has to do something. It wouldn't be in there if it did nothing. And then I realized, oh, it's a hack. Okay. Well, I work on mostly vintage stuff, and I've not ran across one that had a hack in it yet. I do own watches with hacks. I know what they are and know what they do. I just hadn't actually seen one tearing a watch down before, and I was like, what is this thing? After a little bit of looking at it and investigation, I realized what it was and was like, oh, okay, well, I'm stupid. All right, so the inside of this barrel looks good. A little bit of wear, maybe from, needs a little oil in it, but not dirty. So we're going to go ahead and get these parts into this basket. And I linked these two videos together just to save some time. I know these videos get long. But you can see up there in the left-hand corner my cleaning machine, and we're going to reverse it. And this thing is awesome. Man, it takes so much time out of cleaning these watches. All of these parts come out of here perfectly clean. You can see the ultrasonic cleaner going. I have the case and the movement ring inside of there. That's not water, that's oil on the bottom of the barrel there. Hey look, watch change. Different day. Anybody know what that watch is? Let's go ahead and get a list of the watches I'm wearing in this video in the comment section. My stomach just growled. That's funny. I remember this guy in one of my comments in a different video saying that he could hear my stomach growling, and I should have ate a sandwich before. I probably should have done that again today. Actually, I woke up, got dressed, and came in here to start recording the audio for this video. So here we're putting 8200 down, and that'll help lubricate this spring. will also help lubricate the top of the barrel cap. That way it doesn't wear it out. And then I like to put some on the friction points where the barrel meets the arbor. That'll keep it from wearing out. Here's some 1300 going on to the hack. I just pop this in here and move it back and forth, kind of work it into the plate, and then take some Rodico and clean up the excess. Whether or not that needed that literally only moves when you pull the crown out, but I figured it couldn't hurt. I didn't put very much in there. Like I said, I cleaned a lot of it out. I just wanted to get a light film on that. So here's these parts that don't go into the watch cleaning machine. I drop these into one dip and then agitate them with air. That's been the best way for me to clean a lot of these parts that have shellac on them. That one dip doesn't really eat the shellac away or soften it. I don't know that the chemicals in the watch cleaning machine would either, but I really don't want to risk having to buy like a new balance or pallet fork. Although this is an ETA 2370, I believe I could find parts for it pretty easily. If you try to search like Benrus model DR2F, you will find nothing. However, it is an ETA movement, so you can find parts for those. They're just kind of slightly different, I believe. So this is a little bit weird. Having to put the barrel back in before I can do the main bridge is abnormal from what I'm used to. And also the minute wheel style is different. How it feeds, I guess you could say, drives is the better word. How it drives the wheel on the other side is abnormal. It's cool. I mean, it works, I guess, but so I'm trying a little bit of a different method of video creation here. So maybe I'll kind of just do my own style where I'll give you technical data when I feel like it's necessary and kind of give you a story when I feel like it's necessary, and then ramble about stuff that doesn't matter the whole time. I'm just trying to find my own style, put my own unique twist onto this little YouTube channel I got going here. So these pivots on this were actually relatively easy to get lined up. This can take a long time, but these dropped right into place. I mean, that was almost real time. I mean, there's some transitional cuts out of there, but that was pretty well like first try, drop the bridge on. I didn't pick the bridge back up, so it was first try, drop the bridge on. So I like to hold pressure with this little plastic stick because when you're popping these screws into this bridge, sometimes it'll move the pivots out of the holes, and then if you tighten it, it'll break them. So you definitely want to be careful doing that. Here I am checking to make sure everything's working, and yeah, it's spinning great. That looks pretty good to me. Can't forget to put this part back in, like on the last watch where I had to take the train of wheels bridge back out, or the main bridge back out, to put that piece back in. At least this one would just be the barrel bridge. Now this thing has a pretty interesting click design, click spring and click. I believe that's what is next. I might put the ratchet wheel on, but I'll explain to you how it's different here in a minute whenever it pops up, but it's not what I'm used to for sure. How are you guys liking these different angles? like I said, I will change the angle that I am at currently again. Um, it took me a little bit to find the correct spot where the camera should be to view the work best without getting my face in it all that much, so you don't have to look at me. Um, I mean, it's bad enough you got to look at my beat up, dirty hands, but you know, um, the screwdriver angles, I believe, even the way they are so far in the video, are better than how they were before. So, oh yeah, this piece fell out inside the watch cleaning machine. I had no idea where it came from. That was just a lucky guess. I was like, I bet this goes right here, and yeah, that's where it went. So here we got this click spring going back in here. Look at this thing. Isn't that just like the craziest design? I mean, it worked great, and there's no spring tension on this. I didn't have to put that spring, just sits in there next to that. There is no like loading the spring to install this. They just sit there next to each other, and then once the wheel goes in, it holds tension on that spring because the teeth hold the click against the spring. That's the craziest design, but it works. So, what are you gonna do? You know, I mean, honestly, it might be a better design than what I'm used to. The little circular click that goes on the post that has the spring underneath it. I think I like this better. Now, was this designed that way to be robust because it was, you know, a military watch? Maybe. But also, I don't know. I, you know, I don't know that any other watches had screw down crowns, but this watch would have been really cool with a screw down crown. I don't know that they had it in the era. I can't really think of any off the top of my head that would have. Now, this watch won't ever be around water. I probably will be very careful with washing my hands with this watch on, but other than that, there will be no water intake. I mean, I'll be outside when it's raining and be like holding it under my shirt, you know, which is probably extreme, but yeah. So here we go, putting this pallet fork back in. And, you know, these always kind of give you issue. So here I am just trying to line the pivots up. And this one was easier than the last one that I did. I think that was maybe the Longines. I can't remember what watch it was I worked on last, but that one gave me a lot of issue. This one, not so much. It kind of just dropped right in. Pop this cock back on there and move it around a little bit, and yeah, it dropped right in. So that, you know, I realized there, well, if I hold my fingers down like this, you can see the angle for the screwdriver better. So, and then, you know, I just kind of play with the angles a little bit. Hopefully it get better. Okay, so here's a new angle. Like I said, I believe this is the best angle that I had for when I'm using the screwdriver. You can actually see what I'm doing, which is cool. This is a cap jewel here. This has to be taken out and cleaned individually. The watch cleaning machine did not get that clean, as you can see. So I'm just going to drop that into some one dip here, move it around a little bit, and then I'll dip this piece of wood into one dip also, and then hold it down and just kind of like scuff the oil off the jewel. And here you can see what I mean by that. And then you'll get an up close shot here, and it'll show you how well that works. That seemed to be the best way. So, yeah. So I'm gonna put some 90-10 down here inside of this. Drop this cap jewel back down in there, and the screw. $90.10. Basically anything that's jeweled on a lot of these watches gets $90.10. Anything high movement, this is not jeweled, that's getting $1,300. That's the back side of the barrel arbor. And then, like I said, $90.10 on all these jewels. And you don't want to have too much in there. You want to just have, like, basically that is too much. Although that second one there wasn't, and this one is too little, and now that's the correct amount. You don't want to put too much. Now, too much and way too much are two different things. The correct amount is about as little as you can get in there. Not exactly as little as you can get in there, but pretty close. Too much is filling the cup, but not so much that it's going to overflow into the rest of the movement. Way too much is overflowing the cup, and it's going to leak down into the parts, and you're going to be servicing the watch again in no time, because that oil will get sticky onto parts it's not supposed to be on, and it'll cause issues with amplitude and timekeeping. Now, you guys seen me do this before. We take these jewel settings and cap jewels out of the balance, dip them into one dip, clean them. You want to put some 90-10, very small dot right in the center. Squeeze too hard, launch the cap jewel across the room, never find it again. And then, you want to look for that small dot right in the center, drop this down in there, and look at that. That right there is a perfect drop in the center of that. So we're going to drop this back down into where it goes. We're going to drop the jewel setting into the jewel setting. Maybe that's what, maybe it's called like I don't know. The setting into the setting. Yeah, we'll do that. Now this spring type is something new. I've not ran across one of these yet. I have seen them, but I've not ran across one. So the way this one works is it's got a little spring-loaded bar in the back that it can rotate on. And you have to push this lip down into that hole. And while you're pushing that lip into that hole, you have to rotate it. And then it catches underneath that lip. And then it holds it there. That's a pretty cool design. Honestly, after messing with it enough, it took me a little bit to get used to it. I like that better than the other style that I'm used to working on. Now here I can't figure out what's going on. I'm like, why will this not go into here? I cut out a lot of this video, but this went on for a little bit, and I'm like, oh, man, why can this not get into here? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's got a hack. Okay, so the hack was actually touching where it would be at if it was to stop the movement. So I couldn't get the tweezers in there, but you'll see me move it here. So that right there had to be moved over. And then, so now we can put the balance in, I think. Okay, so no, the balance still won't go in. And that's because the hack is spring loaded. And for it to be fully away from where it touches the balance wheel, the stem has to be in. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Abnormal, I've not worked on watches with hacks yet. This is the first one, but, well, I say that, but this is the first one I've done a full service on. And, so this stem's going to have to be in there to hold that hack in. Same with, like, the setting lever and all of that. So we're putting the clutch wheels in. These were lubricated with 9501, the blue grease. So you can see there it's spring loaded against that. That wheel I just put in there is tapered. You want to put the tapered side down. I'm not sure what would happen if you tried to put it backwards. I'd imagine it would just be, I don't know. It probably works still. Might just not mesh very well. Be kind of difficult to rotate. This is that 9501 also. You want to put a light coat on all the friction points, but not like glob it on there. You know, if I put this spring in there backwards, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. The spring, I had pictures. I didn't take pictures of this watch, but I have pictures of another movement like this that I worked on from another Benrus, and it had this same setup in it, and this is how the spring was in that watch. So hopefully this is correct. If not, I will fix it. But let me know. Let me know down there in the comments if this is the right spring direction. I guess I'm gonna have to start taking pictures again, because you know my phone's just so full of pictures. I was like, I'm gonna quit taking pictures of these watches while I'm working on them. I think I can figure out how to put them back together without them. And sometimes you run into a little bit, you know, this spring is like identical on both sides, and this kind of just goes in one way, but it works both ways. So this is the setting lever spring here. That one's not backwards, I know that. So I didn't show my cool new angle for that. So Nort 9501. So now that all those pieces are in there, I'm gonna move this stem in and out to, you know, move some of that lubrication around. But now it's holding pressure against that hack. So now we should be able to drop this right in. And yeah, look at that. Look how much more movement we have to move that balance wheel in. So look at that. It kicked right up. It's got pretty good amplitude. I didn't record my time grapher, but I believe it was like 260 degrees of amplitude with the face down. On its side, it was like 220. So, you know, it drops a significant amount of amplitude by rotating. Maybe some of the pivots or something. Like I said, oh, here's me dressing the tips of the tweezers. And this is a night and day difference. What I was saying about the pivots causing amplitude drop when it's on its side is that whenever you rotate the watch to its side, it didn't affect timekeeping that much, but the amplitude drops. So if the pivots aren't perfectly polished, it will cause more friction whenever the watch is like on its side, and it'll cause amplitude to drop. So here you can see me reinstalling this friction fit wheel onto this cannon pinion. I dropped this tool in here with the cannon pinion in there to line it up. And once I have it lined up center, I'll tighten it down. We'll go ahead and put this wheel over to the cannon pinion, and then use this press tool to press it back flat on top of the wheel. That didn't need to come apart. That shouldn't have come apart. I made a mistake. You shouldn't have to do this step. And yeah, basically that's that. I thought I broke it, and then I tried this, and it seems to work okay. So, you know, if I have any issues, I will replace that piece, but I think it's okay. So yeah, that piece is set down into there. Let's get the quote-unquote setting wheel in there, and the bridge. So this is after the tweezers have been redressed. And actually, I redressed them for this part. I was having issues picking up these screws, and after I dressed these tweezers, I couldn't believe how easy it was to pick them up. I struggled for a while trying to pick them up, and then I dressed the tweezers and I just picked them right up. It was no issue at all. So keep your tweezers dressed. Dress your tweezers. I will start dressing my tweezers every time they become an issue. That's just how it's going to be from now on. Using my plastic tipped tweezers to drop this dial on there because I don't want to scratch it. This is plain water. This is just water right out of the sink, and little to no pressure. Literally, I'm just, the weight of the Q-tip is what the pressure is. And then I'm just cleaning up some of these marks that are on the dial that are maybe fingerprints, or they are not from me, but somebody else. But you can't really see them on the video, and you really can't see them on under your own eye, but they're gone now anyway. And man, this part right here was so stressful because you could accidentally push that hand down too far, and then you're not going to be able to get it back up without messing the dial. So I was very, very careful. Very, very careful to align that perfectly. And then you can see here I've switched tweezers, and I really didn't want to use these metal tweezers against this dial, but you got to do what you got to do, you know. So here I am back with the plastic tweezers, and even these might scratch that dial. So you got to be careful, you know. I don't even touch the dial. I only touch the hand, and I was so worried about taking the paint off of these, which is, you know, it's a good fear, but it's also a little bit irrational because I've done it 100 times, a couple hundred times maybe, and never really had an issue. But you know, on the watch this nice, I would scratch it. Here you can see me putting the second hand on, and I don't use the hand presses for that. I just pop it on with my tweezers. And it's running. This watch, depending on what direction you hold it, will run from, you know, balance down, dial up. It's like a second a day, 260 degrees of amplitude. Now, if you have it like crown down, dial to the side, it goes from like 1 second a day to like 4 seconds a day off, and from 260 to 240. And then there was another, so dial down was good also, like 3 seconds a day. So it's all within 10 seconds a day, and it's all from, you know, 220 to 260 degrees amplitude. I forgot to record my time grapher. I guess I could go back and do that now, but pretty much done at this point. So here's how the watch turned out. You know, this strap I have on here matches the colors really well, but it's not era correct, so I'm probably gonna put it on a black NATO strap that fits me. But I'm really happy with this. What do you guys think? Let me know down below if you like this watch, you like this form, you like the new angles. Thanks for watching.